At Bonvi Weight Loss and Nutritional Wellness, we provide rapid, safe, and lasting fat loss. Working with a certified Ideal Protein coach gives you weekly personal support and education to not only lose weight quickly, but to keep those pounds off forever. We utilize the Ideal Protein Protocol, a 30-year proven success method known as your last diet.
You know, the Chamber has been a staunch supporter of bringing better and more efficient transportation options to the Westside. We supported Metro's long-term transportation, their long-range, I should say, transportation plan. We supported Measure R. For those of you who might not be familiar with Measure R, it was a ballot measure that proposed a half-cent sales tax that was passed and really would help to pay for transportation projects and improvements for the next 30 years. We also supported Measure J, which sadly to say did not pass, very little by slight margin. But I think the most important transportation decision that we advocated for was the extension of the Purple Line, the subway. And the idea of it was to bring it here in the heart of Century City at the corner of Constellation Avenue and the Stars. That's really where the workforce is of over 27,000 employees within a quarter-mile radius. And I'm happy to say, and really thrilled to say, it's on its way and it's coming.
The traffic congestion we have today will seem dreamy by comparison. So what we're after is providing rational choices for people. Our focus is in thinking about how to live within our means, how to use the system we have. We know that we cannot build our way out of this problem. We know it will not get better if we do nothing. So, you know, in the words of my Aunt Clarine, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. So, as Metro makes a tremendous investment in major people movers, as Uber and Lyft transform the way that people get around town, as driverless and autonomous vehicles are coming, as the number of people bicycling has doubled, as the number of people dying on our streets has stayed stubbornly the same. We have to take all of these things into consideration, working really closely with neighborhoods, communities, business, city council.
It's interesting to build a line like that, largely at grade in the west side of Los Angeles, has to be about the politically dumbest thing that anybody would want to try to do, given the lawyers per square inch that we have out here. How did this become such a smooth operation, relatively speaking?
This actually, I think, should be a model project, and I think there are several factors. First, I think we had a great team. I think we had a fantastic contractor. They were determined to get the work done, but they also were very cognizant of the community and their partners. I think from a partner point of view, we had regular meetings with Metro, kept them in the loop. Anything that was changed on the project, we got buy-in from Metro, so there were no surprises. Same with the cities. We worked very closely with both Santa Monica and City of LA, and in fact, what was interesting was the contractors put in risk money for dealing with City of Santa Monica because they had never had a light rail before and no one knew how they would react. And they were quite scared about dealing with Santa Monica. And the city really stepped up to the plate. We had a monthly meeting with their high-level leadership. We had weekly meetings with their staff. They had a dedicated person from the city who was there, who could make decisions, who was empowered. City of Los Angeles, DOT took the lead and was the point person for our project. And we also had great political leadership. People wanted this project, which made a big difference. Our board wanted this project. They understood that politically it was a difficult project, that there was community opposition, but they were able to see that it was for the greater good to deliver this project. And so I think all of those factors combined to make it a successful project.
But the elephant in the room, since we're sitting here in Century City, is phase 2 and ultimately phase 3 of the subway project.
Building the Purple Line in 3 sections. Section 1, as I mentioned earlier, is about the first 4 miles. We're at about 20% completion, being very, very aggressive on that line, or that section. Section 2, which is another 2.5 miles or so, we're in the pre-qualification phase of that section. We've put out the solicitation or the RFP and all of that, that's on the street. And we expect the deadline to have those back to us is the May 2016 timeframe. We will pick a contractor later on in the year, maybe early 2017. We're going to be very, very aggressive on not just this line, but all the lines, but especially this one. Now, that's Section 2, bringing on the contractor late 2016, but at the same time, we want to accelerate Section 3 as well. Now, the United States Department of Transportation put out an expedited project delivery program, like a pilot program. This is really only the second time that I've seen this in my transportation career over the last 20 years. We saw that, jumped all over it. We worked, day and night for a good week getting that expression of interest in for 2 projects that met the criteria. Section 3 of the Purple Line and the airport connector. And we submitted both of them. Now, normally you submit 1. We submitted 2. I saw Secretary Fox right after we submitted. He said, "You submitted 2 projects." I said, "Listen, we can make it easy for you. You just pick both of them." So we are going to look to accelerate Section 3 while at the same time building Section 2. The plan will be to begin to tunnel on Section 3. We have to get a separate contractor from west to east while we're tunneling Section 2 from east to west. What does that remind you of? Transcontinental Railroad. And we may even put an incentive in the mix.
We did the same thing on the Red Line.
Yep.
It met somewhere under the Hollywood Hills there near La Brea and Hollywood. Remember that? The day that the 2 drilling machines touched.
Yeah. So that we're going to be very, very aggressive, and our hope is to hear word in December whether we've been accepted into that program, that expedited program. We hope to hear that both of our projects have been entered in the program, and then we'll move to build both of those.